Good afternoon, dear students. So, yesterday we have discussed regarding the introduction part of this material management and which are the aim of this material management objectives, primary objectives and secondary objectives. So, today in this session, we'll start with these functions of material management. So, while the field of materials management, which covers all the aspects of material cost, supply and utilization, and the opinion which is divided as to what functions should be included under the unified working of materials management. So, in the opinion of experts on the materials management, there are total 7 functions they have made. So, they are in the slides. They are first one materials planning and sourcing, second one is purchasing, followed by stores keeping, inventory planning, receiving, warehousing and transportation, value analysis and pre-design value analysis, standardization and variety reduction, production planning and production control, vendor development, material handling, and last one is disposal of scrap and surplus. So in this, the first one, that is materials planning and sourcing. So usually which involves the setting up of the consumption of standards for working out the requirements of a given production program. So it is deciding whether to make or buy considering the financial aspects, and it gives the manufacturing capacity and availability and dependability of outside sources, laying down procurement standards and specifications, and even it gives the specification about the value analysis, standardization, etc. So in this material planning, we'll come to know that whether we need to decide whether we need to purchase the materials from the various vendors. So in this case, we will get the different quotations and we will select the best plan among those quotations. So that too by considering the rate as well as quality of the material. And second one, that is purchasing and subcontracting. So usually the locating and development of sources of supply, market research for purchasing, the negotiating prices and calling for tenders, selection of suppliers, issue of purchase orders, vendor rating, so preparation of material budgets. So these all things which includes in the purchasing part. And third one is the storekeeping. So in the storekeeping, usually it is a storage places of material management. I mean, where we can store the different types of the materials. So in this, the receiving, storing and issuing as well as the material handling in store. So these all things of how much materials we have received and how much we are utilizing that. So each and every details will be knowing in this storekeeping part. And fourth one, that is inventory planning. So in this inventory planning, to ensure that the stocks outs which don't require for the materials and able to minimize the inventory holding. And for this various analysis are there, so you can study that one in the higher studies, that is ABC analysis is one among them. So these analysis which lead times and rejection rates, consumption rates and cost and other relevant factors to be determined within the safety part, and the reordering part, whichever it is required for the construction, and maintenance of central stock records to ensure the better control. So in this inventory, it's like the storage area, so where we'll be having all the information about those materials. And next one, that is warehousing and material budgeting. So usually it involves the receiving of materials, moving them to stores after the inspection return of rejected materials. So usually few materials will be getting rejected by the certain committee members since they are not achieving the proper strength. Sorry for the inconvenience. So in warehousing and transportation functions part, So usually it involves the receiving of materials, moving them to the stores after the certain inspections by the committee, and return of rejected materials of any proper and adequate storage facilities to ensure the minimum retarding and provision of the suitable material handling equipment like cranes, hoist, conveyor systems, etc. So suitable warehousing arrangements to be eliminate fire hazards and loss duty, the other consequences like the fire hazards and all. So that thing it will be covered in warehousing part. And the transportation, that is, the materials has to be selected based upon the minimum distance from the construction location. So we are selecting the materials such that the reaching materials from the sources to the construction site, that span and or distance, it should be minimum as much as possible. And the next one, that is material manager. He should not be burdened with the value analysis, codification of stores, material handling, etc. So because of many experts believe that these should be separate staff functions. So if you kept a single staff to maintain these all value analysis, codification of stores, and material handling, so it is very difficult for him to control these entire things. So the things are like, so this material management which includes this value analysis and pre-design value analysis. So in this value analysis part, we'll come to know that the different types of the materials with respect to those property, as well as how to achieve the better quality of the material. So each and everything has been given in this value analysis part. And the production planning and production control, it has been included under the materials management, because for manufacturing a huge quantity of the finished goods, that too you can see that one in the bigger industries, a large number of components are purchased from subcontracting, and even to manufacture the end use, or else whatever we can call about the final products. So subcontracting and vendor development is best known by the materials manager. And store management, that is the material handling process, which involves the store's layout, improvement of storage system, store's control of terms of receipt and issues of the materials, and maintenance of store records and stores accounting. So by maintaining this material management, we can record each and everything in the storage place of the construction area. So that is how much area it is to be required to store all the materials, and which type of materials are required, and how better we can maintain that storage system. Each and everything can be achieved in material management. And disposal of scraps and surplus. So in this, investigating into the cases of surplus and obsolescence, and to find out the alternative uses of the otherwise disposal, and also to minimize the recurrence of the same. So here the aggregation, if different types of the swap and scrap, so that the minimum prices could be obtained while disposing of. So coming to the next part, that is the process of construction material management. So it comes under the functions of material management itself. So you can see the flowchart here, that starts from the material planning, purchasing, storekeeping, inventory control, receiving, inspection and dispatching of the materials, value analysis, standardization and variety reductions, materials handlings and traffic variety, and at last it ends with the disposal of scrap and surplus, which materials preservation. So in the material planning, This material planning includes measuring, ordering, and scheduling part. So it emphasizes that the planning is a very important process to increase the productivity of the work and even the productivity of this material management, and even it increases the profit and assisting the time to complete the construction project. So we can construct any particular work within the budget or within the time. So the productivity of the construction project will be hanged if the material planning process is not implemented properly. And next, the purchasing part. Purchase the material and have the services from supplier to get the support of operations as the construction project from production to marketing. And even it includes the sales and logistics also in the purchasing part. For examples, a detailed material list and the coordination of the purchasing and order to material are significant to assuring that the material will available on the construction site. So it means what? So usually, so whenever we require the materials at that particular time, it should be available in the storage place. So that is depends upon what the proper selection of the purchasing the materials. So you can refer the material scheduling part there. There we will come to know that at what time how much materials we require. So based upon that material scheduling part, we can purchase the materials on time.